What's good, y'all? In this video, I want to talk to y'all about how to stay strong during this government shutdown and the food stamp shortage. First and foremost, you must become above average. Now, luckily, you don't even have to become all around above average, but in one of the 5 pillars of existence, the 5 pillars of life, you must become above average to deal with the rising climate, to deal with the tension, and to be an aid for those around you, whether your mom, your dad, your family, your husband or wife, and especially your kids. You definitely want to fix something within your ego, within your mind, and it can reflect in your outer circumstances. Now, this don't necessarily mean getting a bunch of cash, but we can start there. That is one of the 5 pillars of existence, financial. So, of course, inflation, food stamps running out, government shutdown, people not getting paid. It is in your best interest to have more dollars, more cash, more resources, ultimately, more guns, more food, more ability to move around this country with ease. So go out, work hard, get a second job, start that business, be consistent in whatever you're trying to do, that side hustle, sell a product, look up entrepreneurs and listen to money and financial freedom audiobooks. Do all of those things because for one, it's progress. Making money in this world is the best form of progress. Again, mental money and the financial, cash, dollars. It's the best form of progress. It's the best form of achievement because it feels good. And when you studying it and looking into it and studying the economy, looking at the news, looking into financial audiobooks, learning financial literacy, because a lot of us didn't come from environments and families that were financially literate, not even spiritually, esoterically literate. And that's a whole big reason why we are all in the situation that we are in. But yes, financial literacy, getting your cash up, getting your resources up is going to be one of the best ways that you can become above average, right? And really all you have to do is become above average of what your monthly expenses is. If your monthly expenses is $3,000, you got to start finding a way to bring in $5,000 instead of just $3,200. If your monthly expenses is as cheap as $900 to $1,500, and you got to start finding ways to bring in just a little bit more. And then it's so simple, y'all, because we have all the resources and books to do whatever we want. All of the internet people, podcasters, YouTube, all you got to do is discipline your mind, consistently listen to shit, tune your neuroplasticity, switch the subconscious programming, save more, make more. Boom. The cash increases. The bank account widens. Your sense of security and groundedness will stabilize. But on that other end, you don't need cash and dollars to do that. You ultimately don't need to go out and make more than what you're making now or even fixate on it, because you hear all the time in laws of attraction and manifestation shit, the more you fixate on something, the more you chase it, the more it runs away. So we're going to attract. Like I said, you don't have to become all around above average. It is an option and it is something that I'm working towards. So if y'all want to get on the train with me, let's do this shit. Shout out to those that are all around above average. Huge salute. So when I talk about these 5 pillars of existence, financial, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, during these trying times, the end of 2025, as the winter season comes up, as there's so much tension and energy and opinions, political shit going on, you have so many reasons to just stay strong and elevate and become supreme. So let's tackle the spiritual level of becoming above average. Ultimately, it's all about detachment. So fucking simple. One word, detach. Now, this is completely different from the financial, which is all about attachment, desire, goal pursuit, manifestation. Detachment on the other end, the spiritual level, man, oh man, it will solve all of your problems in this human existence. To spiritually elevate, understanding that you are a soul having a human experience, to philosophize and think and study religions and to understand all of this shit about unity consciousness, no boundary existence, meaning everything is tied. We're all one. Everything is intermingled. Quantum entanglement, this realm of duality, separation. You can't have the good without the bad. You can't have cars and flights without the coercion of government. So all of these things, once you detach and reach a level of, really, you're detaching from the duality. You're detaching from this realm of separation, from this realm of opposites, from this mental illusion of polarity, and then you reach the seventh chakra of unity consciousness. It's rising above the realm of duality. Can't find the exact words that I'm looking for. Actually, let's look in the chakra book. So to reference the all-powerful Chakras Beyond Beginners book, in the seventh chakra it reads, rising out of the sixth chakra, all illusions of separateness disappear into the realization that you have never been separate from the divine source any more than a wave can be separate from the ocean. The oceanic level of consciousness of your crown chakra, the seventh chakra, realizes that it is all the same ocean. We are all one. All of life, all of the good, the bad, the negative, the death, the life, the rebirth, the creation. This is a sky consciousness, nirvana, the ever expanding unity, divinity of us all, the God of all things, the animating, vibrating spirit. We all come from this motherfucking one. And we're all just separate entities, separate holographic divisions and multiplications of that one essence energy. Spiritually detaching from this realm of duality and attachment and desire and want and need and care for other people or your own physical human ego and reality. This is a true level of getting the fuck away from it all physically, letting it go, spiritually, letting it flow, allowing yourself to remain detached and in the present moment. Again, this shit is complete opposite from physical strength and boundaries and resources and abundance and manifestation. It is the exact level of spiritual abundance, spiritual power, spiritual wealth, spiritual money, because we are all gods. You as a god, there is no chastisement. There is no sin. There is no wrong. You are a innocent soul having a human experience. There is nothing here that roots you and bounds you to any consequence, any karma. That's all religious mind control. You as a soul on this planet, it's only compensation and cause and effect. That is the true idea of and understanding of karma. Compensation and cause and effect. You do this, you get this back. You do this enough, it's a likelihood that something like this is going to come back to you. But it's not about you do a bunch of bad, then you get some bad shit coming to you. That's just the scientific, natural algorithm of how shit attracts to you. You do enough good, then some good is going to come to you. But if you look at death as bad, then death is an automatic thing that's going to come to you. It's an automatic karma in this world. That's why this level of looking at things as good, bad, negative, and evil, it truly is a very human, mental, physical, 3D understanding of life. And it is necessary, and it does apply in so many realms. Societally, to be civil, so we're clearly separate from the animal kingdom. That is because we have this divine spark of consciousness. But ultimately, we're damn near plagued with this idea of good and bad, right and wrong. When Adam ate the apple in the Bible, it simply is just man understanding that, whoa, I can cause and inflict pain and suffering and hurt and violence onto other people. But damn, animals come and inflict violence on me because they want to kill me. So I have to defend myself against this animal with a spear. That's evil, that's bad. And then other people can do the same thing. So it's the knowledge of good and evil. It's the knowledge of right and wrong. Right action is any action that does not harm no other person. Wrong action, a bad thing to do, is something that harms and violates another person. All right, so that's a mental level again, because once you tap into the super high level 7th chakra consciousness of expansion, you drop all of the need and reason to be right, to logically say this is this. No, all is this. All is spirit. All is vibrating. We're all the all. So all of the influxes of high and low in the society, economy, police, military, tsunamis, earthquakes, whatever fucked up shit, suffering, kids dying in Palestine, moms not getting food stamps to provide for their kids. It's a total level of detachment. It's a total level of detachment. So you have to exercise it 24/7. Affirm that you are a soul having a human experience if you truly want to detach, because there's a lot of spiritual benefit from it. But ultimately, I don't want to just give y'all spiritual bypassing in my content and my channel, because this game of reincarnation, really the main question is, do you want to come back to this shit, or do you stay detached? So when it's time for you to physically transition out of the body, do you transition to another higher realm, or do you come back as a baby, right? So that's the spiritual pillar of existence. Again, you want to become above average and one of the 5. Let's tackle the third. There's really no order, but the third one I'm going to go with emotional. The emotional side of your life. Really, it's emotional intelligence. So let's just start with that word intelligence. Intellect, your left brain, data, mathematic, masculine, logical, start, middle, begin, finish, timeline, generate, your feminine, your right brain, your creative, nurturing, empathetic, compassionate, cyclical. There is no end. There is no mark to get to. It's just the play. It's just the action of life. So your intelligence is the balancing of these two. Most people on this planet are polarized on one end. It might be 70% left brain, 30% right brain, 80% right brain, 20% left brain. So with that being said, you really want to just balance out your mind, balance out your emotions. Truly, your emotions is your chakras. As I just referred to the chakra book, everything that you go through in life literally is just affecting your chakras negatively or positively. Your chakras are either overactive, underactive, or balanced. So you want to strive to maintain balanced chakras. That's how you get above average emotionally, with all the people in this planet running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Because if you cut a chicken's head off, it's gonna still run. And that's most people modern day, with their brains decapitated because they don't know truth. Their consciousness is low. They don't understand what's really going on in this fucking planet, on this game of life. Therefore, constantly chakras fucked up, ripped up, manipulated. All of the things that happen and take place because people are not in control of their vessel, not in control of their minds, and not in control of their bodies. So let's quickly go over each chakra after I talk a little bit more about emotional intelligence, because to spiritually bypass all of your physical issues is a motherfucking option. But to balance and diplomatically deal with the people in your life and deal with the situations that come to you, it's all about controlling your chakras. It's all about controlling your mind. So there's always going to be bad things. There's always going to be undesirable things, negative things. That's the duality of life that I just spoke on. So understanding that, you have to take the good with the bad, the positive and the negative with all situations, and ultimately consider the potential bad of all situations. That's called not ignoring the negative, because that's something that you're told to do in spiritual bypassing energy, religion, God, all of that shit. All Bibles, all New Age spirituality telling you to ignore things, telling you to just live like you're protected. You are, but at the same time, you're not protected from a person that wants to pull the trigger and kill you. We're not protected from government slavery and coercion. That's why we live under this system modern day right now, because our consciousness over the years wasn't strong enough to fight against the oncoming attackers in their subtle ways. Secret societies, police, military, government, all of the things. Not ignoring the negative, because the negative is always going to be there. So in religion and a lot of new age spirituality, you're basically led and programmed to ignore the negative. That's why you have to have your own thoughts and figure out life yourself, because the negative is the shadow. The negative is the dark. The negative is the unknown. So as long as you don't ignore that, you can be in full consciousness, full emotional control. Most people that you see, again, they're either trying to get you a part of their cult or the cult that they're a part of. That's why you're just emotionally manipulated in this planet. Emotionally manipulated in this planet. There's always going to be somebody trying to get you on board with their side, their philosophy, their idea, their thoughts on life. But if it's not talking about shadow work or the occult, I guarantee they're trying to get you a part of their cult. Okay? So that's the emotional side. Really, emotional intelligence, being nice to people, right? Because everybody is having their own situation. Everybody is going through some shit. You know, have forgiveness, have grace, be grateful. All of these type of things, well, gratitude is always the main cure to literally alchemize your life. But on a spiritual level, yeah, it kind of has nothing to do with gratitude when I really be real about it. Gratitude is more your emotions and your mental state. But when you spiritually detaching and you want some Gnostic shit, there's no point in really being grateful for this life, because you really don't give a fuck about it in a real deep sense. And it also allows you to detach from everyone else around you. So, of course, when it comes to balancing all of these 5 pillars of existence, I'm offering y'all to be, or inviting y'all to become above average in one, but you can become above average in all of them. If you want to become the king, the God, like I said, I'm on board, I'm on the path to it. So I want y'all to be on the track with me if you choose that. But I'm not telling y'all to do it. I'm not telling you you should do it, because you got your own life. You have your own equation. You have your own thoughts, your own journey, your own everything, your own decisions to make, your own desires, your own path, your own wants, your own needs. All right? So let's let that be known, and let's focus a little bit more on emotional intelligence. Being nice to people, you know, there's no point of spewing any negativity, because the more negativity that you spew into the world, that is just adding to the already dirty pool of negativity that we live in. Let's add some good thoughts to the world, some positive, clear water into the pool that we all live in, the aggregate of humanity, the aggregate of America. Of course, you see we got this polarized left-right, conservative versus liberal thing going on. Then at the same time, you got the up and down, the rich versus the poor. So each side is basically programmed to be mean to the other side, dislike the other side, have emotional attachment toward what the other side is doing or not doing. That's how they get you in this game of life, especially in America. It's all about polarity. The politics, polarity. Police, polarity. They're polarized on the side of evil because they do the work of the evil people that pay them. All right. So emotionally, it helps to also know all of this shit, consider it all, and bridge it all, put it all in a perspective. And that's my ultimate goal and thing that I want to offer y'all. A lot of information, a lot of perspective, and a lot of awareness for you to armor yourself and move cool through this life. So emotionally controlling your mind when somebody is trying to tell you this versus that. I'm telling you the real shit. This I promise you. Exotic knowledge. Full on objective truth. CTRL, continuous truth realization. Middle point understanding. To be the Christ is to be in the middle. The 13, Christ had 12 disciples, representing 12 zodiac signs. You want to be in the middle. You want to control all of your astrological events, all of your houses, your sun sign, your moon sign. Whatever your astrology is basically an emotional encoding of you on this planet and how you interface with the world. So you got to control that. You got to first understand your astrology, study it a little bit, and then control thyself. There's a great book called The Encyclopedia of Birthdays. You look at that, you find your birthday, you will be amazed at how accurately it describes your personality. So that's the thing. Personality, persona, the mask you wear. It all has to do with your emotions. It all has to do with how you interface with the world. You absolutely need to become in full control of it, but ultimately make sure you do that spiritual work to make the decision of how much you care about how you interact with people, how much you got to put on this nice smiling face. Because being nice to people don't mean smile and be happy all the time and be super fake. It really just means don't be mean. You can really have a neutral disposition toward people, but having a neutral disposition toward people mean you damn near don't need to talk to them. At least exchange courtesies with your coworkers, with your family, with the people that you live with. You know, respond to a text. You ain't always got to answer the call, but respond back with a text to do all of the courteous, diplomatic, human things, right? Keeps your emotions good, keeps you good, because, you know, we project, y'all. We project onto the world. We project our negative thoughts and emotions and opinions onto others. And we just get negative feedback back, all from negative projections. So it's in your best interest to positively project, to positively view the outside world, to positively paint the picture of the people that you see for all good scenarios. You don't want to ignore the negative, because the negative is real. Jesus. The negative is real, but you don't have to even paint the negative in a negative light once you observe it and put it in its proper context. Because again, that spiritual level, you can use the spiritual tools to paint everything that you see as a positive, even the government shutdown and the food stamp shortage, because people is going to have to adapt and survive in some way, shape, or form. So everybody that you know is mentally going to have to figure something out, going to have to come to some understanding and do some type of shadow work. Is going to have to dig deep if they want to survive, because that's what this game of life is about, survival. And even when you look at killings and catastrophes, suffering, genocide, and war, them motherfuckers is getting elevated from this human realm of duality. Maybe they moving on to a whole new realm, maybe even heaven. So you can always paint things with a positive. That's the secret. That's how you positively manifest and attract all good things and everything that you want to your life. Painting everything with a positive viewpoint. Ain't it good? All right. So that's enough on the emotional intelligence. Let's look at the chakras real quick, because this is an important pillar. Mind you, we got two left, being the mental and the physical. You can skip to them. I definitely put some timestamps in this video. So the root chakra, your security and your groundedness, your subconscious mind. We're going to breeze through them, and I'm going to drop a few gems on each one. Basically, you're programmed to think that you need to be secure, or the only way to be secure is by having all of your bills paid, having a bunch of money, having all of the adequate resources that you want and desire, that you think you need. Essentially Maslow's hierarchy, having food, shelter, water. You don't need that shit to be secure. You don't need money to be secure. You can be secure subconsciously. If you're homeless, if you're on the brink of homelessness, there's a lot of examples of homeless people that move strong as fuck in this world, because they secure subconsciously. They secure within self. They secure of their ego, their persona. They detached, so they're secure. So your root chakra is all about your security. Ultimately, do some squats, do some lunges, do some core strength workouts, and your physical groundedness and balance and all of the strength is going to automatically come up. You're going to automatically feel more secure regardless of your possessions. Number 2, the sacral chakra. Ultimately, this involves pleasure and creativity. So you get pleasure from things that you like, things that you really are attached to, because addiction is a word that's basically used to shame people and to control society. Because a lot of people are, by this definition, addicted to success, addicted to health, being healthy, addicted to being smart, addicted to spirituality, addicted to money, addicted to food. But really, it's just attachment. It's really just things that we like that bring us pleasure, and we continuously do it. Ultimately, it feeds the heart. It feeds the heart chakra. As I skip a little bit, what you're attached to, what you like, what you continuously do, it is your pleasure. It is all about the sacral chakra. the chakra of the good, what you like, what you desire. But what you must understand is it's insatiable. You will continuously do the thing that you attach to, rather it's eating, rather it's sex, rather it's chasing somebody, rather it's chasing some money. You will continuously do it. So that's why you have to control your sacral chakra. You got to control it because it'll be out of control. And on that other side, creativity. That's truly how you balance out all of these desires, by creating, producing, thinking out of the box, thinking in your generative feminine mind, that creative right brain tied in with the sacral chakra. So that's all up to you. It's also the water element, as the earth is the root chakra is the earth element. Sacral chakra, the flow, the joy, the creativity, what you feel, your sensuality, taste, what you like. Third chakra, willpower. Again, y'all, you must become above average in one of these 5 pillars. This is the emotional pillar. This is how you become average in controlling your emotions and controlling your life. Your solar chakra, willpower, the fire, the will that you have to be strong, to continue, to do more, to change your reality from point A to point Z. Like I mentioned before, alchemize anger. Anger is that fiery emotion, that's something that's stirring up in you. You want change, but you don't want that anger to be misguided and shooting a clip all around. You want that anger to be directed into a goal. Alchemize the anger. Solar plexus is your discipline. It's going to help you not fall into the quicksand of the 2 lower chakras, earth and water. Quicksand keeps you lower, keeps you rooted, keeps you down. Not down in a negative sense, but down in a natural, vibrational sense. So your solar chakra is how you going to elevate above. Mentally, you do it first. New thoughts. This is all involving your solar chakra. To do the positive affirmations, to write down what you want, to get out and perform action and manifest your goals, and literally do the shit that needs to be done, starts mentally. Starts by affirming that you are focused on what you're choosing to be focused on. Affirming that you are great, you are in control, you are strong, you are powerful. And just like that, no matter your physical body, no matter your age, no matter what you've been through in the past, present moment starts right now. Use that solar chakra, use that fire, alchemize that anger, and go forward. The all-important 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra, aka the bridge. It's the bridge between your humanity and your spirituality. Basically, the bridge between the spiritual realm of detachment and high-level spirituality, like I just spoke on, and the realm of attachment, desire, wants, manifestation, humanity, society, friends, family, kids, right? All of the things of humanity are involved in the lower chakras. Procreating, fighting, self-defense. So the heart chakra is the bridge because you make that decision to either be allegiant to your will, to your thoughts, or the thoughts of others, the thoughts and the needs and the cares and wants and the traditional ways of others. You use your heart chakra also to have compassion, of course, but at the same time, that compassion for humanity keeps you attached to humanity. So it is up to you, as Jesus Christ has the flaming heart and he's pointing up, because he's pointing upward to the spirit. It's more important business rather than what you see physically right in front of you. Your heart chakra has so much to do with compassion and detachment from what other people do and don't do to you. Because this is that part where you make that decision. Are you attached or are you not attached? Are you a lower chakra, aggressive, wanting to change and control others? Are you higher chakra, detached and only controlling self, only focused on self? You can be both. You will always go back and forth between the bridge of higher chakra and lower chakra. But it's so good to do the shadow work and think deeply about your decisions, weighing it on your heart. People have a heavy heart because the heart is not lighter than a feather. Your heart is heavy, meaning it's going down here. You're attached to humanity. You're attached to shit. Ultimately, in a lot of Egyptian mythology, that's the sign that you're going to come back and reincarnate on this planet. So having a light heart, you don't take shit as serious. You can laugh. You're detached. Even as your physical resources may go down, even as things in the country may change, inflation goes higher, more money needs to be spent, more violence, more chaos, just more crazy shit, you can still be lighthearted. You can still find the joy in life. The gratitude is the primer of the heart. Again, it's a humanity level, but it's also a spiritual level. So it works on both ways. Gratitude is, goddamn, I need to decode that word because it is such a amazing spell of joy and peace and present moment enlightenment, to be grateful for all things that you have done and been through. So that's the heart chakra. Love and care for others, your relationships, how you deal with your significant other, how you deal with your children, how you deal with your mom, your family. You know, you don't have to be so, this is maybe a projection, but all of us don't have to be so pushy onto others to change, pushy onto others to do what we want them to do or think that they should be doing. We can slowly guide, and that's the best way, but the even better way is to lead by example. Do all the things that you say another person should be doing, start doing it yourself. Start moving in that manner. Allow other people to be who they are, because that's the heart chakra detachment, and then move forward, you being the person that's doing the thing that you say you want others to do and should do. Heart chakra compassion, having that love, intimate love for our partners, for our relationship. Care for the person that you with. Show them that they mean something. Show them that they special. Treat them with some motherfucking love. You know what I'm saying? Because we all, a lot of us compare. A lot of us look at other people. A lot of us think that whoever we dealing with, if you dealing with somebody, is doing something wrong or doing something you don't like. Nah, just relax. Have that love and care, because we're all individual. We're all unique. So treat people, show people that they special, if you fucking care to. This is the emotional side and control of life. This is the side of influencing your life positively, the people and things around you. But when you spiritually detached, a lot of shit falls away. A lot of shit don't matter. Ultimately, to leave off on the heart chakra, love for self. First and foremost, you must have that love for self. You must tune your aura with signs of love. I love self. I love self. I love self. Say it to yourself. For all your good, your bad, your positive, your negative, all of your humanity, because your astral body is so much more infinite, so much more powerful, so much just not what humanity and your physical self is. Your astral body, your God self, is so infinite. But have love and compassion for the humanity, for your flaws, for your imperfections. And the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, your expression, your ability to be truthful in whatever way you need to be truthful. The fifth chakra isn't very important. The fifth chakra is pretty important because it's ultimately your voice within self. It's the talk in your head. It's your inner dialogue as well as your outer dialogue. And your fifth chakra, everything that comes out of your mouth is generated from your heart. So before you even talk, your heart really tells the story. But then once you talk, your voice and your words confirm the story. So to mentally do the work, to affirm and attune yourself through words of affirmation, through the spells, that's all the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra, the element, is also that of vibration, the ether, the quantum, because these words that we use, that we create, are spells. They vibrate out to the world. They resonate. They attract. They pull things in, pull people in. So that's the quantum. That's the fifth chakra. That's your throat, your vocalization. It's ultimately a lot about truth. People that seek truth, people that express truth, you have to have that control and that cap over your speech when the moment is ultimately inappropriate. Because there's going to be a lot of times where just saying the truthful, factual statement, you know, the elephant in the room, is not going to be necessary. That's one thing that I've had to really learn and adapt to doing psychedelics and learning about this occult information. Those two things, occult and psychedelics, really should be held to when the conversation or the setting is psychedelic, because psychedelic and the occult is the same thing. But really, Psychology and the occult is the same thing. So that word truly shouldn't be so taboo as it is in this society. It really shouldn't be so undiscussed. But ultimately, the fifth chakra is, again, you're leaving humanity, you're leaving the heart. You're leaving the ties and the pulls of the lower chakras. After the heart chakra, once you choose to elevate and express and balance and activate your fifth chakra, you have to look at the negatives of life. You have to do the shadow work. You have to observe truth. You have to speak and express your truth to continuously learn and see self. It's all about evolution. The element of the heart chakra is air, by the way. Fifth chakra, vibration, the ether, and the sixth chakra, your third eye, your imagination. Just like the fifth chakra, this one is also dual, meaning you have your imagination. You can see everything to positive. It can be a good thing, or you can see everything as negative. It can be a bad thing. So your third chakra is equally working to your good and to your detriment, depending on how you use it. Now, we're influenced in this world to truly have a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative imaginations, a lot of negative fantasies, a lot of negative thoughts about what's going to come. Of course, it's basically that intense right now, modern day, with the SNAP, EBT, government shutdown, people not getting paid. So they're forcing you and promoting you to think a lot of chaotic, negative, violent thoughts about what's to come. A lot of anxiety provoking shit. But ultimately, this is your imagination. This is your mind. This is your antenna to the astral realm. This is your antenna to the imaginational realm. So we control mentally. We control things with our mind. We control everything with how we see the world. So that's your third eye, your vision, your imagination. So you either positively choose to see the world and look at it through that lens, or you negatively see things because you've just been influenced that way. But ultimately, you tune and create your reality through your thoughts. Visualization. Visualize the positive outcome. Visualize what you want to happen. Visualize how you want to see and change yourself and change your life. Third eye chakra. And seventh, the spiritual chakra that I just mentioned. You see how once you elevate so much on these emotional levels and just continuously unlock the keys to each chakra, you get to this level of spiritual oneness, unity consciousness, nirvana, and ultimately with the ability to live detached, to live spiritually, to see the good, the bad, the spirit, the love, the hate, the humanity, the life in all things, and just sit back in the observer mode, allow things to be. And those are the 7 chakras. So that's controlling your emotions. That's how you become above average in the emotional pillar of life. Number 4, physically. You essentially, for your size, for your height, and for your weight, need to become faster, stronger, and more athletic. That's how you become physically above average. So the easiest way to start this process is to stretch. The easiest way to start this process is to get on the ground and stretch. Stretch all of your limbs. Start slowly if you're not a big stretcher, because you can get sore and pull some shit and pop some shit just from stretching. But you physically take that first step just by stretching. Second thing, curls. Because your arms is your most used fucking extremity, your most used part of your body, essentially. The arm connected with the mind, everything is our hand motion. The arms symbolize so much in body language. So if you want to start making that jump to being stronger, above average physically, not just healthy and enough to live and get by, not just the opposite of obese and fully out of shape. If you want to get above average, you start with weightlifting, curls, push-ups, chin-ups, sit-ups, lunges, squats. The extreme, simple, and base exercises, the more consistency, the more rapid, the more you do it and don't stop doing it, is the quickest way to get above average in your body. Not much has to be said about that, but let's talk about the benefits. Because I'm, again, not telling you to focus on the financial, which I did talk about that as the first one, but you can be a benefit to those around you just by being the healthiest and strongest person. You can be a benefit to those around you just by being the healthiest or one of the healthiest and strongest people. Because people is going to call on you, need you. A lot of problems that people face is simply because they're physically out of shape, damn near handicapped in this American society, because the way that our bodies could truly move if we was living tribal or just a people that focused purely on physical athleticism and not just looked at the sports and the entertainers and athletes that are in really good physical shape and athletic. If we focused on that in America, a lot of our problems would go away. So ultimately, that is one other way to tune your emotions, is by just physically working out, getting your heart rate going, getting yourself in tune and just alchemizing to the person, to the body, to the frame that you want. Above average though. So that means for your size, if you 150 pounds, you want to be able to bench press damn near 200 pounds. You want to be able to do 10 consecutive chin-ups and push-ups if you a man. If you a woman, you definitely want to have your curl strength at least 20 pounds. To be able to at least curl 20 pounds as a woman, that's above average. As a man, it's more so with your calisthenics and your ability to push and pull your body weight. Really same with a woman. Ultimately, that's what you want to do, is push and control your body weight, no matter what weight or height you are. But once you can control your body weight, that's also getting your body fat percentage down. So cardio is the absolute drug of working out. Cardio is the absolute drug of life. They call it runner's high for a reason. That is the sober drug, running. So run, get your heart rate up, tune your physical. This is going to relate to your root chakra. When you physically need that security, that stability, you don't need outside sources. You don't need a bunch of money. You don't need a new car. You can be taking a bus. Look at everything as a benefit too in your physical daily doings. Use your abs and everything that you're doing physically. Your core is extremely important, but you got to burn down that body fat first in order to be able to move your body a little bit more. If you are a person that may have a little bit more body fat percentage than you want, you definitely got to get that down by doing jumping jacks. You could be at home doing movements. Even when you're watching shit, the news, politics, an audiobook, your favorite YouTubers, don't just do it sedentary. The more that we sit in America, that shit fucks up our spine and glutes to such a degree that we not walking properly. You're not running properly either, because your glutes not firing properly like they supposed to, because you're so used to sitting in these slumped over positions. So physically, to become average, it really just entails tuning and detailing every single part of your body, your lower body to your core to your upper body, and seeing, okay, in what ways do I need to be stronger, for not only for myself and to self-defend myself, but to be able to help family members, to be able to help a person in a time of need. All of this shit going on, groceries, food, stamps, EBT, SNAP, Supplemental Nutritious Assistant Program, with them taking that away from people, it's organized chaos. All that is doing is getting people to be up in arms, anarchy, chaos, making people fear, putting people in a survival state, because food in America is the #1 source of entertainment, love, and joy. So to take that away, people already is struggling to pay bills, so then you can't eat out and enjoy the exquisite luxuries of all the food that America has to offer. Essentially, just this division between the higher and upper classes, they're definitely making it stronger and harder on people by taking their food stamps away, by some certain government jobs not being available. So one thing about working out is you don't even want to eat. The more you work out, you don't even want to eat the unhealthy food. You can really survive off 1 to 2 meals a day. Drink a lot of water, eat a lot of fruit. This is the physical pillar of existence, so you want to become above average. Once you cut out the sugary foods that you really only get from the grocery store, that you can spend a bunch of food stamps and EBT on because they want you to eat that shit. So to stay away from it, the more you'll benefit and become above average and be able to help those that may not be as easy to make these life decisions, to split and stop eating certain foods and working out more because it's not as, they older, whether it's your family, grandparents, parents, whatever it is. but you be strong for them. You make the decision to cut out certain sugary, fattening, greasy foods out of your diet and really just replace it or balance it with fruits, vegetables, and water. But if your body fat is high, then you want to cut that shit out and replace it with the fruits, vegetables, water, and cardio and exercising. But if your body fat not low and you looking to bulk up and get stronger, continue eating that shit, but do the cardio to run and keep your heart strong, and then eat the vegetables and the fruits and drink a lot of water. But like I said, once you start working out a lot, you don't really care to eat as much. It's a really metabolic process going on in your body. The final pillar of existence, which is probably the most important, the mental, because this is truly the bridge between the emotional and the spiritual. Then you got the physical and financial also tied with the physical. But your mental state, oh my God. I basically have been talking about it because it encapsulates all four as well. But mentally, man, oh man, you just got to stay right and strong in this world. You have to keep your mind strong. You have to stay in control. The affirmations do the job, the subconscious programming, but also the shadow work, because everything is mental. Everything that you create is mental. If you see lack and despair and sadness and chaos right now, that's because mentally you have those goggles on, and that's the view that you're choosing to look at life through. But if you choose to put on the positive goggles, or at least the constructive goggles, to look at life as how it can change or how you can help change it or help other people, it just serves us so little to be looking at things through the negative lens. But that's because mentally you're seeing things negative. So mentally, your emotional state, it all ties in, because the scale of emotions down here, you got shame, guilt, fear, despair, depression. But you can mentally tune in just by positively affirming, I am happy, I am powerful, I am good, I am grateful. Joy and excitement can all be attained. But at the end of the day, that middle point of neutral, stoic mentality may be your best saving grace in these times, especially if you're not focusing on money, because focusing on finances and cash, that shit kind of automatically makes you happy because you know you're going to get more. It's desire. It fills the sacral chakra. But looking at life as a warrior, stoicism is your key. So again, that's when you can alchemize anger, use it to change your mindset from looking at things as sad, depressed, and fearful to, nah, I'm about to shift some shit. I'm about to change and help my life. I'm about to change and help my family's life because shit is so bad and fucked up. I'm about to be a warrior and do it for them. I'm going to forego the joy and the happiness and the good times and the going out. And I'm going to also shield myself from the sad, depressive emotions. And I'm going to stay stoic and strong and make this shit happen in whatever way that I'm going to make happen. Thinking for y'all. But I'm saying the same thing to myself. So stoic, that's that philosophy. That's that Marcus Aurelius. That's that detachment. That's that understanding that you control your mind. You must be a samurai. You must be a warrior. Remember this key CTRL gem. Others laugh, others cry, you get downloads. When you stay in that middle, when your mind is strong, when you are in that neutral emotional state, when you're seeing the good and the bad, the positive and the negative, you're not getting too high and excited and emotional and attached. You're not getting too down and depressed and in despair and sadness. You stay right in the middle. Some cry, some laugh. We get downloads, more revelations, more truth, more understanding, more pattern recognition of this game of life. So that mental side is the same with your emotions. Like I mentioned, you got the right brain, creative, cyclical, intuitive. You got the left brain, mathematic, logical, start to an end. Finances is mental as well. Finances is mental and physical, because finance, the etymology of it literally means finish. It means to pay a debt. It means the end of something. So that's why America allegedly can't give money out to people for food stamps and government assistance, is because we're in so much debt that we're just running out of aid and programs to help the people. It's all manufactured chaos, because if we can fund wars and if we can fund infrastructure and buildings and all of these things, Food is the base chakra. Food is the most important thing. So to take food away from people and damn near take water away from people, but you can drink water anywhere. But to damn near take the ability, and for some cases, for people to buy and purchase cases of water, that is manufactured chaos, y'all. You got to stay strong and smart and see through that in a big way. And if people around you is going to be attached and fearful and sad, then use your mind to tune yourself into that warrior spirit to be strong and protective over them, because people is going to go through it. People is going to suffer. People rely on the government so much. Therefore, the government controls a lot of people's lives. And I'm not on no EBT, SNAP benefits, but a lot of people around me are, and a lot of people have told me, shit, you need to be manipulating the system. They got you in this system. Just do what you do and get out what you can get from the system. And it's enticing. And it is what it is. I don't care. Ultimately, I know well enough that through time and consistency, we can make all of the cash that we want. Relying on government, even just like relying on a job to have you getting paid every week or every 2 weeks. It really don't serve you, because they could fire you at any second. Same way the government can take away your aid and food stamps at any second. So we living in this controlled society, like I've been mentioning to y'all for a minute. But you want to stay focused, want to stay in control. Stay in control of your mind, because the mind is all and the universe is mental. How to stay strong during this government shutdown and food stamp shortage. I think I've laid it out. I damn near want to read some excerpts from the Kabbalion. I may just do that, because to leave off the mental end without referring to the Kabbalion is just not very CTRL of me. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all, the Kabbalion. The all is spirit, but what is spirit? This question cannot be answered for the reason that its definition is practically that of the all, which cannot be explained or defined. Spirit is simply a name that men give to the highest conception of living mind. It means the real essence. So that's the spirit, that's the all. All is mind. Everything is a manifestation of the mind. So in this section of it, details how man creates mentally, man and woman. Human. Human, the dark, the tint, the shade. We're in the body right now. We're the human. Boom. He creates mentally, and in doing so, he uses no outside materials, nor does he reproduce himself, and yet his spirit pervades the mental creation. Following the principle of correspondence, we are justified in considering that all creates the universe mentally in a manner akin to the process whereby man creates mental images. Image, imagination, masculine and feminine creation, left brain and right brain. You got your feminine side and you got your mental. These two are always merging to create your reality, this reality of duality. But the Hermetic teaching does not imply a real duality. The all is one. The two aspects are merely aspects of manifestation. The teaching is that the masculine principle manifested by the all stands in a way apart from the actual mental creation of the universe. It projects its will toward the feminine principle, which is called nature. So that's a good understanding, a good breakdown, a good conclusion. So spirit is mental. Spirit is mental. Spirit is the all, it's the higher vibration. It's masculine in nature. This is the yang of the yin yang. While yin is the dark, it's the feminine, it's the nature. So mentally, we all project our will onto this world. Mentally, it is the cause, our thoughts. And it goes out into this natural, physical, feminine world, and with births, a manifestation. Same thing with man, woman, births a child. It's all duality. It's all ones and zeros. It's all feminine and masculine in this world. Nature. Whereupon the latter begins the actual work of evolution of the universe, from simple centers of activity onto man, and then on, still higher, all according to the well-established and firmly enforced laws of nature. If you prefer old figures of thought, you may think of masculine principle as God, the Father, and the feminine principle as nature, the universal mother, from whose womb all things have been born. Right. So, skipping to the end of the book, one of the last chapters is called Mental Gender. After it goes over the law of gender, which is the feminine and masculine in all things, talks about mental gender. So, after looking in it, I definitely want to read and give a few more gems and details from this book. So, smile and read new theories regarding the duality of mind. Each school adhering tenaciously to its own pet theories, and each claiming to have discovered the truth. That's talking about all of these new sciences, philosophies, institutions, colleges that have discovered some truth of psychology and the mind. The student turns back to the pages of occult history, and away back in the dim beginnings of occult teachings, he finds references to the ancient Hermetic doctrine of the principle of gender on the mental plane, the manifestation of mental gender, and examining further, he finds that the ancient philosophy took cognizance of the phenomenon of the dual mind and accounted for it by the theory of mental gender. So, dual mind definitely promoted me to think about just this fucking persona, fucking psyche, fucking id, thoughts, ego, and super ego. That's one thing that I want to definitely touch on in the mental section of becoming above average. So let's first understand what the ego is. The ego is our defense. The ego is our self. The ego is what we think we are. The ego is how we interact with the world. Our ego feels triggered, then our mask changes and we interact with the world different. Now the super ego is the ego of your society. It's the ego of your country, your nation, your tribe, your culture, the people that you're around. So that super ego basically is what you stop you stop and control your ego because of the super ego. It's all humanity, it's all control, it's all spiritual, very much spiritual. But to understand it helps. So your id thoughts is the super thoughts that are on your mind that you don't say. You control your id thoughts with your ego. Your ego is controlled by the super ego of society that damn near tells you what to think is right versus wrong. So your id thoughts is your super psycho, personal, crazy imaginations and thoughts that just don't come out to the world. You may share with those close to you, and a lot of them you may never share with nobody. These are your id thoughts, and the ego controls the id. It controls the id, it controls everything because it is control. Your ego is how you control yourself. So that's also the persona, which is the mask. I want y'all to become very in tune with your persona, see how it interacts differently in different environments and settings, and have no shame or guilt from whatever way that you have to adapt or get around or do whatever you do in your life, whether it's your job, environment, social structures, settings, this, that, the other. Just be cool, because life is life. This is a crazy game that we doing. Always have that forgiveness and gratitude for fucking surviving for however long you survived and had to adapt and change in different environments and climates. Let's go a little bit further into the Kabbalion. The masculine principle of mind corresponds to the so-called objective mind, conscious mind, voluntary mind, active mind, and the feminine principle corresponds with the so-called subconscious mind, involuntary mind, passive mind. Of course, the Hermetic teachings do not agree with the many of the modern theories regarding the nature of the two phases of mind, nor does it admit many of the facts claimed for the two respective aspects, some of the said theories and claims being far-fetched and incapable of standing the test of experiment and demonstration. We point to the phases of agreement merely for the purpose of helping the student to assimilate his previously acquired knowledge with the teachings of the Hermetic philosophy. Students of Hudson will notice, all right, boom. So you got your mental conscious mind, then you got your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is, of course, how we're all programmed, how everything comes out, how all of our life is basically created from what we've been programmed with and from what we program ourselves with. Your subconscious mind is like 95% of all the reasons you do what you do, while your conscious mind is basically 5% of the reason that you do what you do. You consciously control it with your ego, but it's really coming from your subconscious, which is also tied in with your physical and your body. It's all like a fucking memory bank of involuntary actions. It's the feminine nature. It's your nature. Your subconscious mind is your nature. The law of psychic phenomena, that the mystic jargon of the Hermetic philosophers discussed the same general idea. The duality of mind. If Dr. Hudson had taken the time and the trouble to decipher a little of the mystic jargon of the Hermetic philosophy, he might have received much light upon the subject of the dual mind. But then perhaps his most interesting work might not have been written. The Hermetic teachings impart their instruction regarding this subject by bidding their students to examine the report of their consciousness regarding their self. The students are bidden to turn their attention inward upon the self dwelling within each. Each student is led to see that his consciousness gives him first a report of the existence of his self. The report is I am. This at first seems to be the final words of consciousness, but a little further examination discloses the fact that this I am may be separated or split into two distinct parts, two aspects, which while working in unison and in conjunction, yet nevertheless may be separated in consciousness. While at first there seems to be only an I existing, a mere careful or closer examination reveals the fact that there exists an I and a me. These mental twins differ in their characteristics and nature, and an examination of their nature and phenomena arising from the same will throw much light upon many of the problems of mental influence. So let me break that down. Me is your full self. I is the I that literally controls this physical body. Same with you. You are a soul having human experience. I, one, uno, you, within the shell, divine spark, soul of consciousness, in control of the physical body. But then we refer to me as in, this is me, this is my body, this is me, in separation from you and your body. But truly, we're all just divine soul consciousness, separated and trapped into these bodies. But we're all unity consciousness within. The I is very, what's the opposite of separate? Combined. We're all one. But then we separate just by being into human bodies. So I think that about wraps up the mental pillar of existence, how to become above average in the mental pillar of existence. Read this. Read and study this deeply. These are the laws of life. This encapsulates 7 principles of this reality. The law of mentalism being number 1, which I spoke on and talk about. The mental gender, how we create through action between our left brain and our right brain. Everything and everyone around you is just creating, but that's just the brain. We are the divine spark within the brain, full control of the brain, full control of the thoughts. Doesn't that make life very fucking unique and good and interesting? We've just been so programmed and assimilated into this culture and think that we're just bodies, think that we're just these fucking vehicles moving around to work and procreate and laugh and entertain and eat. No, we're so much more. We're this game that we're playing is so much more infinite and phenomenal. And a lot of that is encapsulated in this book right here. A lot of your questions that you could ask. Boom. 7 principles of this human existence. 7 laws that we are bounded in. So to mentally elevate is to know the laws of this reality. To mentally elevate is to know and understand the laws and game of this reality so you can change and control your reality at will. But at the very least, just understand it. At the very least, just understand it. This is the certainty of life. A lot of other things are uncertain. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of up and down, a lot of shit you'll never know or ever figure out or never be conclusively evidence certain about. But this right here, you can be. The laws of this physical universe. The laws of this physical universe. All right, y'all. I appreciate you for watching if you got this far. If you got this far, leave a 7 in the comments. With that being said, y'all, stay strong during these times. Tension rising, people going crazy, chaos, anxiety, depression, fear. The one thing you can do is move forward with love and courage and strength. May you never relax your principles. I love y'all. Stay godlike.